Well, good morning, everybody. I have a couple of updates to show you in my yard. So I'm going to take you around and show you the two things that we've been doing. As you can see, it is very cold in Michigan. We had our first hard freeze last night. It got down to 26 degrees. So it's about 46 right now. Wind is really still. And anyhow, let's get with this and I will show you what we have done. So here by my back gate, I have my two beautiful evergreens. One's a blue spruce, one's a pine. And we had our frost, as you can see. Boom! The leaves have come down. This is one of my persimmon trees. The other one has fruit on it. We tried one yesterday and it was sweet, but real astringent still. So our mouth's just like perked up into a little fish-like and all dry cotton mouth feel. So we're gonna try one more today and see how it was after this big frost. But anyhow, I have something to show you on the greenhouse that we have done. The roof, if you haven't seen the video before this one, I think it was, or two after this one, a friend of ours came over and he put the roof on. Really appreciate that. But he temporarily put some supports up at the top that were wood, similar to these old ones on this side. Well, we put more womanized wood, kind of like the bottom here, and we also stapled on the back side of these boards so that it'd be more taut. And then we did stapling up to the top, and then we put this top piece in. And eventually I'd like to put a gutter in here and have the gutter come down and fill a tub right here so I can use that for fertilizing and just utilize some of the rainwater that we get here when we do get rain. Anyway, and the figs are all getting sleepy. You can see how gorgeous the trees are here, my pawpaws that gave me my first fruit this year. So anyhow, let me go over this way. Whoops, this limb is kind of, oh, I must have moved this. Let me get this out of my way so I can get through. There we go. So anyhow, here is a little update on the greenhouse. You notice anything different? So anyhow, we have finished the white on the front of the greenhouse. It looks so nice, and when we opened the shades this morning and looked out, it was like, wow, that looks so much better without that old wood on there. It was not womanized wood. We just put on something inexpensive, and I have it sitting over here, and I'll be burning it. As you can see, look how it's just been deteriorating, really kind of quite bad. So anyhow, super thrilled that the greenhouse is getting closer and closer to being done. I have to do still the north side, which we want to put a permanent wall or siding on this side, just probably some form of, I think I've said this before, either metal or a wood 8x4 sheets along here, just to kind of get that done. We'll probably have to take the stuff off of this window and then put it on the top of the window, because right now it's kind of like behind. So this would become the siding, and then this will go on top, and then that'll be the trim work, and hopefully it'll fit on top like it does on the bottom. Anyway, and so the other thing we have to do is new furring strips here and at the top with womanized, or else the siding will go here, and then we don't have to have these, and then the plastic will come down, and then I will insulate in between these walls and the inside with some sort of insulation. And then the back side, there's more wheelbarrows, we haven't finished yet. So that's kind of how the front looked, half done, you could say. So we at least want to get the peak done and just around the window, and maybe not do this. We might end up trying to put a new piece of greenhouse plastic on here of some sort, and that'll finish off the back. But the bottom has womanized protection, and we did staple from the inside on the back yesterday in here and made this nice and taut. So the wind shouldn't catch it anymore. It's quite nice and firm. So anyhow, that is one of the updates. The other one was, gotta walk back this way. There's my raspberry patch, and you know, previously I had a raspberry patch here. So I coiled up my watering system and set it here. And I dug out as much of the raspberries as I possibly could. I had a couple blackberries that keep coming back. So I cleaned it out, and then I came back the next day and I did the earth again, looking for more roots. There's one big root right here at the end that I'm gonna try and get next year and make sure that it's not trying to travel under. And then I'm also gonna see if something will pop up in the spring, and then I'll dig it out and get rid of it. So I wait and see. But what I'm going to do with a friend of another fig person, it's very helpful, is I'm going to do some air layering next spring early on some of my cold hardy figs. And let me show you an example. Okay, so this is my cold hardy fig tree. This is a Chicago hardy. I have a little tag right here that I had to replace because I cut out the crown, mainly because this tree has got too many branching. And so the figs on this particular one were not doing very well. And normally the Chicago hardy is earlier and it's tastier. It probably needs a root pruning as well. But, excuse me, back to what I was talking about is we're gonna do a big air layering right here and get the roots growing right here. Cut the tree off, and then I'll have this rootstock as well, and I can grow more limbs off of here. And then, oh, Mia's going after a squirrel. Oh, okay. Anyway, and then we're going to take that, and we're going to take the air layering roots, and then a couple, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks later, we're going to plant it in this spot here. And I'm thinking I can get either 2 or 3 varieties in here. And then I'm going to have in-ground figs. Now, my friend, he did this and he had success. And I think he said he had over 200 figs on one of his plants in ground in this area, which is zone 6A in Michigan. Excuse me. And so I'm going to try a brown turkey, a Chicago hardy, and a black Bethlehem on my trees that I have out here. I have 2 Bethlehems, I do have 2 Chicagos, and I do have 2 black Bethlehem, Chicagos, and brown turkeys. I have 2 of each. So I will still have a tree in a pot if this fails. So I got to try and see how my microclimate is going to do. But he went and he put leaves on top of his, and I guess a good amount. I have to get more information as that time comes. So I'm going to try that, and then I'm also going to try early spring these hoops. I'm going to apply some hoops on here, and I have extra greenhouse plastic or a frost cloth, and I think I'm going to put the frost cloth over it maybe all winter and see if that will give it even some more extra protection. So this is also fully sun almost all day long during the summertime. So this is east. The sun is right overhead. As you can see, this is more getting late in the year. Our time change is going to start next week. Anyhow, so this should be a great spot to try. Plus it has a nice, you know, no weeds can get in here, or grass. I can keep it looking good, and I might chip it as well. So anyhow, that is my second thing I want to show you. And now I'm going to explain something that I talked about before, the Ambrosia beetle. We need to talk about that. So as you know, as I walk over here, I have a fig tree, and I had the Ambrosia beetle only on this particular one. And I went and I poked it with a needle and sprayed it, and poked it with a needle and sprayed it. Well, my understanding is that it isn't the beetle that kills the tree, it's the stuff on its feet, the disease, the bacteria, and it gets into the tree and then it will kill the tree. So I'm going to show you what my other Chicago looks like, which is funny because it did really well and it's such a nice looking tree that I'm afraid I'm going to probably lose the whole thing. I'm going to burn it and probably get rid of the rootstock, because if it has it in there, it could live for a year or two and then it'll just decline, but I can use the pot for other things. I have other fig trees I can use this big pot on, but I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you what this fig tree looks like. Okay, so here's my beautiful Chicago. This one's bigger than my other one. I was planning on pruning it down a little bit to here anyhow, but I'm going to show you the spot where the Ambrosia beetle went in. You probably could see my other post I did this on this, and maybe I'll link a thing up at the top of the screen so you can see it. But boy, I am cloggy. Excuse my hems. But here you can see on the bark, see how it looks very sick all the way up the bark. Well, this is where the Ambrosia beetle got into, and that's me scraping it. I've been scraping it to see, but I think that the disease is in it. So my recommendation is, if you get the Ambrosia beetle and it starts coming out, they burrow in and leave like this little bit of sawdust, you could say, out. Sometimes it comes out straight as a stick, sometimes it just starts, which this had done, it started with just a little bit of sawdust coming out. It didn't done the full stick effect yet. But just take it and cut it down to the last section. So like here you can see was the last spot, somewhere in here where the Ambrosia beetle got in, and cut it off and burn the whole top. Just cut it off. I've had to do this to 22 trees one year, but I did spray an awful lot this year, so I'm very lucky that only one tree got the Ambrosia beetle. You can see how beautiful this tree is. It seems very healthy still, but like I say, if the disease is inside of here, it's in throughout the whole system of the tree. So I am going to cut it down, burn it, dig out this pot, and then I'm going to eliminate the dirt. I'll probably put the dirt somewhere in my yard, and then I'm going to use this to pot another fig that I think is really worth it, and that will probably be my black Madeira, or my green Bosnian or green Ichia, because it's just fabulous tasting stuff. So anyhow, that is my third update for you in my yard, and so I wanted to just give you an update about it. I thought it was the beetle that killed it. No, it's the little feet that they bring in the disease into the tree and kills the tree. So I guess this is a lot of research that my other fig person told me about, that pretty much, I guess, all agricultural places agree that there's no cure for it. So in other words, if you wanted, you could spray a very heavy spray on your trees, something that's not organic, before the leaves come out maybe. Or you could try the neem. I did Neem Max. It has neem oil and other things in it, and you could try that. It did help. I mean, I didn't have any on any of my other trees. I was very faithful to look around, make sure. So anyhow, that's my update. So let me go and I'll just show you maybe a couple of other little things. Okay, so the other thing is I did my garlic, and I think I might have posted that in another video, but I did my garlic, and I'm going to do some more garlic, I think, this year. So I have another bed, and I had previously done some garlic in there before, so I think I'm going to do some more planting of garlic. And I just wanted to show you real quick how I plant my garlic. Usually always in October, sometimes November. So as long as you get it in before the ground gets super hard, I would suggest doing that. So let me show you what I do. Okay, so this garlic bed is already planted. It's doesn't look it, but it is. And what I do is I loosen the soil. I put chickadee dew in it, and usually I have to come back and start planting another day, which I did. So I heavily fertilized this, mixed the dirt, got any roots, because sometimes I get roots from my 2 trees here that seem to come up here, or something is anyhow. I'm assuming it's those, because there's nothing else close enough. I don't think these trees are close enough. Maybe that big pine is a little, but it didn't look like pine. It didn't have the smell of like a pine tree. And what I do is I make 3 rows. I did add a 3rd watering row this year. I always just kind of supplemented, and it didn't seem to affect the middle row versus the outer rows. They seem to do okay. So I take it and I do all that like I told you. And then I just take where these little watering emitters are. I did make a mistake on this one because this is every 12 inches, but this is every 8 inches. Or is it every 6? Wait a minute. This one is at 6. This one must be... I'm trying to look for the other one. I can't see what the other hole is. I think it's either 12 or 8. Anyway, sorry. I plant right where the emitting holes are. So that kind of helps you determine how far apart. That's how far apart I plant mine. And then I push it down until the bottom of the bulb is about the length of my finger. So, I don't know, what is that, 3 inches? So, boop. So the bulb is not that deep at the tip. Let's see if I can find this one. Where'd you go? Here, no. Oh my goodness, where are you? I know there's one in here. Okay, now it's making a liar out of me. I gotta find it. Did something dig my bulb up? Oh, wouldn't surprise me none if the squirrels got to it, but I didn't see any digging. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh my, it got a little deeper than I thought. So here it is. It's probably a little even deeper, I guess, but it's about 1.5 inches from the surface to 2 inches. So, and then when I'm done planting, I go and put a whole bunch of fertilizer on top again and kind of ruffle it all in, and then I water it in. And then I cover it because my dog likes to get in here. And for some reason, they love the smell of chickadee doo-doo, which I get at Menards. And let's see if I have a bag. I have a bag in here, I think, still. Yes. So it's really inexpensive. It's like about 10 bucks. And if you know the brand Epsoma, they use, chickadee poo. Chickapoo. Chicken poo. And it's 100% organic fertilizers. No worries. La la la. Anyhow, that is the base of Epsoma. So, and they put other things in theirs. And I really love those 2 brands. But that's what I use. And so, it's really inexpensive. It's a really good, it seems to do really well. And then in early spring, I will come out here and I will fertilize again. And these should be about this tall before winter sets in. So they should be growing probably another 3 weeks. They kind of will look similar to these, but these are summer. These are not. These are planted during the summer, just an experiment, and for some reason I missed a few bulbs, apparently. So they will look about like that before a big winter comes in, like December. And they'll look a little sad, but they'll pop right up, and man, you'll have a really nice harvest. I had huge garlics. It's my best year. And garlics love to be planted in the same bed every year. So this bed I pretty much keep for my garlic. And sometimes I'll do beans in here. And that's about all I'll do. I didn't do it this year, but the beans will go in here. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to be taking this out, and I'm going to use this for some more of my fig trees. So I'll probably use 2 of these rounds and dig out the dirt and level that out. And I'm going to move them back over here on the other side and probably lay it at the end of these or on this side here. Maybe that side, but I'm thinking this way or this way. And then hopefully the raspberries don't go up into it or anything like that. But this is, I figured if I leave the tarp down, put them there, and just make a hole where the fig tree will be put in, that'll be some other nice areas. So I could have 2 and then 3 here or 2 here in-ground figs. So anyhow, my plans for next spring. I have it set on my calendar for my friend to come up here and help me with air layerings. And anyway, that's pretty much all my updates. If you're still a fig lover and you're still watching, you can tell I already did some pruning, major pruning. Cut this off to get less branching, so I will get more fig production. This is my Smith, and actually that needs to be uppotted. A Smith is an excellent variety to have. It's a very tasty fig. So maybe that I'll put into that big pot over there. Gotta decide. So that's about all for now on this video. I'll make maybe another video again if I do when the fig migration start, which should be happening fairly soon. We're gonna have another big warm up. So the temperatures keep going up. I think we're like 70, 71 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we get rain and it drops again, and we may get some more heavy frosts. If that's the case, all the fig trees do seem to be pretty much getting dormant here, so I probably will be moving those into the garage. And I'm so happy and blessed that I'm going to have help moving these to the garage, because that is a big job, and the older you get, the harder it is. When I started this fig thing, I was only going to have a few fig trees, and it grew like you've seen probably previously. I had over 110 varieties, not varieties, but fig trees, but a lot of varieties. And I had to whittle them down to see which ones would, I really like the taste of. So that's the problem, is that I had that Ambrosia beetle, and it went and destroyed so many of my figs that I had to let them regrow from the root, and I didn't get any figs that year. So I'm just kind of waiting, and then I whittle down my varieties, sell them to other people, and maybe other people who have places to store them, because I only have a car and a half garage, and I take half of it up for these fig trees. And it would be nice to be able to have some in ground and eliminate a few more. So anyhow, I hope you all have a great day, and thanks for tuning in. Like and share. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.